We are in the building, man. We are in the building. Hey, man, I am Coach Bay, man. This is Mind Muscle Mastery Podcast, and we are live, man. We are absolutely live, man, and proud to be. Uh, the Queen, man. Talk to him, Queen, man. Tell him about this old 10th episode that we've been striving to get to. Being blocked basically by fat, man, by being inactive, by not eating correctly. I mean, without going over everything, that we started off with. If you haven't followed the podcast through this three-part series, please go back to part one. You can find that wherever you get your podcast. This is episode 10. This is the last of that three-part series. Now, in type two, which was the other day, we spoke about uh in type 2 diabetes, the body produces insulin, but the cells become insulin resistant and ignore its signals. This happens because the molecular locks on your cells stop responding to the insulin keys, right? And exactly found out exactly how that happened, right? An overloading of the cell receptors. And how did that happen? In a normal process, insulin binds to receptors right on the outside of the cell, the liver, things of that nature on the outside of the cell to regulate sugar, to tell it to open the gate to let sugar in, which is glucose, to enter, right? For energy. The breakdown, when there is a consistent surplus of glucose, insulin in the blood, the cell receptors get overwhelmed, right? Over time, they degrade, decrease in numbers, or simply stop responding efficiently to signals. Why do they do that, right? High intracellular fat, lipotoxicity. The breakdown of what I just said in lipotoxicity and high intracellular fat when a person has excess body fat, right? Tiny droplets called liplets, right? If for all my older watchers, going to anybody who goes to the doctors, deal with blood pressure, things of that nature, you know what I'm talking about, right? So lipids build up inside the muscle and liver cells where they do not belong. The impact of that is these initial fat accumulation products physically block the internal chemical signaling pathway. Even if insulin binds to the outside of the cell, the signal to open the glucose gut gates are cut off. Right. And all this in the end, when you come back and break it all down, man, it all comes down back down to how we eat. It goes back to activity or being inactive, right? And being active or inactive actually can equate to so many different things. It goes under so many different categories, right? It can extend your life 3 times a week, an hour, sometimes shorter, can extend your life. And we're talking about being active. We're talking about exercise. We're talking about aerobics, right? We're talking about lightweight to strenuous 3 times a week exercise, right? But one of the things that, and the greatest thing, and I learned so much over this three-part series, but one of the things that I learned that I want to break down, and one of the things I want to let you guys know, full disclosure, I teach diabetes often. I am a diabetic. I am your diabetic coach. Okay. I am one of America's diabetic coaches, one of the highest rated diabetic coaches, one of the most physical diabetic coaches. But what I'm telling you is this disease, diabetes, right, can be handled. It can be handled if you choose to handle it. Are you tired of finger pricks? Are you tired of insulin sticks? Are you tired of wondering, what you can eat, what you can't, what you can do as far as physical activity? I'm telling you, you need to get more active. I'm telling you that lean muscle mass is a storage for 80% of glucose, insulin, right? Lean muscle mass. We're talking about lean muscle mass, right? This is a storage for 80% of insulin, right? This is a storage place. These are storage places, right? These are storage places, right? For 80% of insulin. So when even if you have this trait, if you have this makeup, right? If you have this genetic makeup predisposition that puts you in a disadvantage, right? Being physically active puts you back in advantage. This is what I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you that the black nation, right? That the African American has uh pregenetic predispositioned uh disorders as far as genetics are concerned, to where we simply have to adjust, right? If you don't want to uh become a diabetic, things of that nature, because we already have that pre disposition genetic code, right? That baseline code, and we'll get into that, further down the line. But yeah, we possess, a lot of us, so many of us possess that baseline code, right? And it's not just genetics, it's genetics along with how you take care of yourself. This is how diabetes comes along for the type 2 diabetic. So we know that being active will extend our life, man. And this is simply the importance of being active. I'm telling you, Coach Bay is telling you today that if you are a diabetic suffering from one or two type diabetes, that if you choose to get active, if you choose to get on King and Queen Fitness Virtual, pull your couch out, move your chair, move your table, and get active. If you choose to go into a gym and get active, Coach Bay is telling you it will extend your life. Coach Bay is telling you it will give you great control over diabetes. Lean muscle mass is an 80% storage. So if your body, right, we learned that, what did we learn? We learned that the overloaded cells, well, we won't have to deal with overloaded cells if we're taking care of our body, if we're eating what we're supposed to, if we're active. We won't have to worry about overloading cells, right? So it's simply about that. If you're tired of the finger pricks, if you're tired of walking around with the bag, if you're tired of all the little things that come with the accessory bag, I'm telling you, go get in the gym. I'm telling you, get on King and Queen Fitness Virtual and get active. I'm telling you how to gain greater control over diabetes. Simple and plain. As a certified personal trainer, and listen, go ask first and foremost, anytime you come on King and Queen Fitness Virtual, you have a consultation to do, right? So anytime you're in one of our consultations, one of the first things we tell you to do is consult your physician, right? We are not medical doctors. I am a personal trainer. I'm a nutritionist. If you're talking about diabetes and things of that nature, as a diabetic, as one who studies diabetes, as a personal trainer who trains individuals with diabetes, I'm telling you to consult your physician, but at the same time, I'm telling you the truth. So that's simple and plain, man. And that goes across a broader spectrum, especially for the black nation. As far as extending life, as far as your health, without your health, you are nothing. I'm talking about you can be as big and as bad, you know, as the last big and bad person that fell hard. Because without your health, man, I'm talking about, man, the meanest will lay in the bed, man, and crumble behind their health, man. You are nothing without that, And I push that because, again, I'm a personal trainer. I am black, but all kings are called to the mic. All queens are called to the mics because we are in a time right now where, we must be aware. We must be awoke and we must be alert. The truth must be spoken. Right? And that's what we're here for. So before we take our first commercial break, man, I want to thank everybody for joining the live, those who joined it. This is our first live, man. This is our 10th podcast. Obviously, man, we are individuals, man, who answered the call. We are kings and queens who answered the call, man, and went and spent whatever needed to be spent from our resources that God gave us. Like I say, there's an office in the back, man, getting done. A podcast, an office where podcasts will be done, right? We thank God for everything that we have. We thank God for everything He continues to give us, the knowledge and wisdom that He gives us to teach and preach behind these words, right? I'm telling you, the state of black health, man, and the state of health in America has to be regarded, has to be talked about. Not only health, I talk about health as a personal trainer because without your health, you're nothing. But simply, each individual, man, must be aware of what's going on and have the courage to speak the truth. Individuals out there, man, watching what's going on as far as the news, politics in your community. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Right now, the murders are a serious issue. The violence is a serious issue. From one who came from the streets in Kansas City, it is my job. The founder of 100 Kings, the owner of King and Queen Fitness Virtual, it is my job. My queen, she'll tell you about it. I'll let her tell you herself. But coming from the community, man, it's our job, to get on here and give back, man, tell the truth and bring our followers, man, with us, man, through any trying time, anything you don't understand. One thing about it, man, we are educated with those pieces of paper on the wall, but so often we come walking and talking just like you. Why? Because so often, if we don't, individuals that we don't identify with, we tend to cut off. Right. So God said, look here, King, you're gonna come walking highly educated, but walking and talking just like the individuals that you come to save. Right. So without any further ado, man, we're gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back, man, and we're gonna talk about what America's talking about. We're gonna talk about Nolan, man. We're gonna talk about this Nolan Wills a little bit. Then we're gonna talk about, man, this Wiley case down in Mississippi. The 1-year old man who was shot by a cop down there, man, when the cop was responding to a theft call at Walmart. It's already been understood, man, that there's some bull crap involved in that. You know, don't get it misunderstood, man. On here, man, we back the blue, man, but we don't back any of that foolish, man, any of that foolishness, not from the blue, not from the president, and not from anybody else. We're gonna call it when we see it, and we're gonna call it out tonight, man. We be back, man, in a minute. All right, man, we back. I'm gonna find out why that does that because I don't know why it does it. Yeah, man. So, kid named Nolan Wells, uh, down in Mississippi, man. We first started following it, man. We follow all these type of situations, all these type of cases. Uh, with our youth, man, our black youth, and really any youth. I think Martin Luther King said it best, man. And injustice anywhere, man, is a threat to justice everywhere. So we calling it out wherever we see it, man, without fear of consequence uh, or repercussion. I'm gonna tell you, I follow God, man, to the fullest. And any repercussion that come through that door, man, gonna be authorized by Him. So without any further ado, man, the Queen, man, Nolan Wells, man, let's speak this truth. Right. Right. Uh-oh. Oh wow. So what they what they do? Joseph, what you do, man? Oh. Yeah, you can't I mean we got free speech, man, but you can't just get on here and threaten people. Uh oh, you just dumb. Yeah. Now check this out. Say that again, Queen. Say that again. Well, so okay. So we just got we got uh all type of stuff going on. Yeah, this is interesting. So he was threatening the dude was threatening Nolan Wells' family. Oh. Yeah, probably not the best thing to do. Not the smart. Was it Giselle Maxine Edwards? Oh, okay, Michelle. Oh, she black all over. She black all over. You hear me? I'm talking about all three names. One, two, three. Man, shout out to Joey Cool down there in Cincinnati too. Yeah, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen. Let me tell you something. Word of advice. You know, get in your feelings, man. Get in your feelings about this shit that's going on. And excuse my language. You know, to all of my adult listeners, man, and all those who ain't with that curse. But you know, get with the shit, man. You know, but don't be no fool about it. You know, don't be no fool about it, man. And I go back to Alex Petty, man. I go back to Renee Good. Rest in peace, man. You know what I mean? You know, but don't listen, man. If you know, ride for the cause if it's necessary, right? Now we don't, you know, promote violence. I'm saying protect yourself, protect your family, right? And don't get out there in the middle of nothing going on if you ain't about that, right? Especially not out there carrying no weapon or trying to get your car, talk crazy and pull off. None of that. I ain't saying nobody's trying to hit a cop. I'm telling you, don't even put yourself in that situation. Right? If you got a protest out there, get out there and protest, man. Get in the nitty gritty. Get out there and protest with your flag and all that, man. You can get in your face to face with the police. You don't touch them. You don't touch them. And in today's hostile environment with this administration, man, these killers, man, this administration, right? These killers, Coach Bay said that. Don't put yourself in those situations, man. You don't get in a car started. We all know if you grew up, if you over 10 years old, you should know a car, man, it can be used as a weapon. And anytime you get in and start up around these killers, around any other, police officer, man, that may just be simply, reacting to you, whatever you trying to do with this car. But what is you in the car for anyway? Police tell you to stop, man. Obey the law. You know, if you don't want to stop, then be prepared for the consequences of not stopping. But what I'm telling you is to be prepared. I'm telling you to know what you're doing. And I'm telling you, don't get in no lane that you ain't ready to drive in. You need some advice. Get a hold of Coach Bay. Been there, done that. Right? Been there, done that. So go ahead. I'm just telling you, man. Don't be boo boo the fool out there, man. Because you'll be boo boo the dead. I had that confused in the beginning. I know half y'all was like, ain't he talking about the other person?
Now, of course, everybody knows that this 20-year-old was alive.
They killing kids in Mississippi.
He was unalive after the police were called to Walmart of an alleged shoplifting of diapers.
You can get mad at me if you want to. Don't go on King Queen Fitness Virtual then and work out. I'm telling you, they killing kids. The police is killing kids in Mississippi.
Now, the mother is saying that she got into the car with her child. She held her child up so they were driving away. And the police were saying that they
Which is a lie.
So that's why they were firing the car. Now, an independent eye, and it came out
that they was lying.
The bullet entered the right side of both torso and left.
So in other words, if you ain't put two and two together with that, they shot him from the side. So the car was not coming at the officer.
The bullet shattered from the front passenger window, not the front window. Now, physical evidence shows that the officer inside the car.
I'm sorry.
What I found interesting is that this officer, Sergeant Hunter Austin, who's 32 years old, been in the law enforcement for 8 years.
You've got some explaining to do, Hunter.
Now, while he is on administrative leave, he has had been accused of exaggerating a vehicle threat in a past incident. So,
Hunter, you killed that little boy. Why you shoot that little boy? Now, I'm almost positive you probably didn't mean to shoot the little boy, but you shot that little boy, man. Why would you shoot in the car? Why would you pull up, period? In a frame, why would, like my queen said, why would you pull up in a frame of mind, bro, on a theft call at Walmart? The last thing I'm thinking about is lethal force on a theft call on a lady at Walmart. So that lets me know right there, either, you know, you a little bit too aggressive, period. You a little bit too aggressive in general. Because if I'm a police officer, and yes, full disclosure, I used to own a security company. So I know a lot of police officers. We back to blue here, unless they're doing something illegitimate or something criminal, which is what's being done here. And unfortunately, under this criminal administration, this has been frequent. From police officers to ICE officers. And in my educated opinion, a masked man running around, man, is a masked man running around. You know, because policemen and individuals who follow the law, individuals who work as officers, don't cover up their face, man. You know, shout out to all those, man, all those officers in communities all over America that's doing it without a face cover. That's doing it, risking their safety, risking individuals knowing who they are, that's living in their communities. Shout out to those officers, man. And shout and you know, big middle finger, man, to all y'all who feel like you gotta wear a mask to do your job. You know. Because one thing about it, man, if you confident about the job you doing, you ain't worried about nobody, man, trying to find you, do nothing to you. Why ain't the officers in Kansas City, Missouri worried about that? One of the roughest cities in the world. Why ain't they begging to be masked up? Why ain't they running downtown saying, man, you know what, they killing people every day in Kansas City. I'm scared they gonna kill me. I want a mask. They ain't doing that. And they ain't doing that because they moving, man, in accordance to what they supposed to be doing. Y'all moving on some bullshit. Some dangerous shit, some scary shit, bro, some unreal shit. And all y'all moving around out there, man, that's scared to turn around because you feel like the boogeyman is behind you. Because you scared to confront these issues that you see every day. You scared to say something in your community. I'll let Coach Bay lead. I'll let him do it. Well, that's the problem now. Man love to follow and not to lead. So, yeah, they killing kids in Mississippi. And Diddy's in the hole. We'll be right back. Yeah, Diddy in the hole, man. You know, I'm letting you know. You know, I'm just telling you. You know, for all y'all out there, man. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm not proud of Diddy. You know, I'm not proud of the baby powder, the baby oil, the baby juice, whatever the fuck it was. I'm not proud of none of that. The grab assing and all that. You know, but we all got our own problems, bro. We all got issues. It may not be as crazy as Diddy's, but that's still a black king, man. That's still a member of the black nation, and we still love and support that king. Because we all make mistakes, man. Some, you know, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Ain't your sin ain't no bigger than his, and his sin ain't no bigger than yours. We so fast, man, to cut off our own. Why? Because our nation, we need our kings, baby. We need our kings. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Right now, it appears that the focus is on the Hispanic nation, but I'm gonna tell you something, baby. That ain't all he want. And that ain't who all he want. That's just what he can do. But I'm telling you to stay aware and stay healthy. Because the heat is on, baby. You never know when you're going to have to protect your home, your queen. Charity starts at home before it's spread abroad. You got to teach your nation. You got to prepare to protect your nation, right? In these trying times, in these trying times, man. We talked about diabetes in the eighth, ninth, and 10th episode, man. We broke it down. We broke it down. I'm telling you, man, as one of America's diabetic coaches, that you can control it. You can control it without the meds, without all the weird shit, but it's not going to be easy. Talk to your doctor about it, man. Talk to your doctor about it. Coming up here, man, we'll be doing free consultations. You can find that switched up on the site. We've done a great job with the 7-day trials, man. Now we're about to go into 30-day trials. So look forward to that, man. Being able to have a 30-day trial on the King Queen Fitness Virtual. Uh Diddy in the hole, you know. And you say why he in the hole? Because he whooped somebody ass. Somebody was talking slick and they got to banging, got to fighting. Even as a man, a man has to defend himself. You know, a man has to defend himself. Uh, I want to send some shots out, man. Shout out, man, to Drip Water down there, man, in KC. David Jordan behind that deal, man. The brothers got an amazing thing going with Drip Water, man. It is one of the most refreshing waters, man, that I've ever put my hands on as a physical trainer. Shout out to that brother, man. Shout out to the Popper, man. Last time I talked to the Popper, man, we talked about his hashtag. One of the big hashtag that the Popper uses is active. And as a personal trainer who calls on you guys being active, man, shout out to the Popper for demonstrating that. Uh, that active hashtag, man, and that active idea. Understand that Coach Bay, man, taught you that if you become active, you can extend your life. Shout out to Chuck Brown down there, man, doing his thing, man. The King, man, is one of the biggest down there behind the camera, man, behind the editing. Shout out to Chuck Brown. And shout out, man, to Mr. 4000. A brother, man, who has been in the rap game for a long time, man. A lot of street cred, a lot of respect. He's back with a new album. Uh, in the face of so many coming out with music in Kansas City, man. One of the founders, I call him one of the founders because that's what he is out, coming out with some new music, man. Shout out to Mr. 4000. And shout out, man, to KC Young Boss. Shout out to Miss Kush. Shout out to the Star, man. You know, shout out to Hood Star, JR Hood Star, man. Shout out to everyone that's doing something. Okay. Shout out to everyone that's active. Because right now, man, all kings and queens are being called to the forefront. So shout out, man, to everyone who has the courage. You know. Next week, man, we just had an interview last week with Chef, the Chef, baby. Shout out, man. Shout out to Dash and Chef, man, down there in the STL. Uh, Omari, man, amazing guy, man. Shout out to the Chef. We're gonna do something big in the community. Shout out to Gym Nut Mafia. That's one of our brands, man. We'll explain what that is and how that came about. Shout out to Gym Nut Mafia. Uh, Shout out to Brandon Ellington down there in Kansas City, man. Didn't get a chance to catch up with the King. He is running for office, man. Election is August 4th down there in Kansas City, Missouri. He is a former councilman, 3rd district at large, as well as a statesman up in Jeff City, man. And now he's running to deal with the misuse of funds down there in Jackson County, man. The taxes have been crazy. Recently, we had an individual accused of uh, you know, some dirt, some filthiness, and I think it was the chair over there in Jackson County in the legislature. So shout out to Brandon, man, for being willing to stand up in that position, man, in a legitimate fashion, man, and lead the people of Kansas City, man, in Jackson County, in a much better way, in a much better fashion. Shout out to Brandon Ellington, man. Y'all make sure y'all get out there and vote for that brother, man. August 4th. Again, that's Brandon Ellington, August 4th. Y'all make sure y'all put that in. If I didn't mention you, man, one thing about it, I didn't forget about you. I didn't forget about you, man. Shout out, man, to my grandmother in heaven, and shout out to the Queen's grandmother in heaven. You know, right now we doing something, man, that would make them proud. You make sure you doing something that would make your people proud. Next week, man, it's the same topic, man. We on black health. We on the state of black health in America. That's first and foremost. Then we on the news. We on current events. We on the Trump administration. You hear me? We on Nolan Wells. You know, we on everything popping, man, and ain't running from nothing. We love y'all, man. This is Mind Muscle Mastery Podcast. We'll see you in a minute. Oh, we got another guest coming up too, man. Shout out to Sidney Charles Jewelers up in California, man. Millionaire, man. Older gentleman that's gonna sit with me, man, and talk about what he's seen, man, and how they steady snatching the rights from the black nation, man. How they try to steady minimize us, man. They try to minimize us. You better wake up out there, baby. Muscle Mind Master. We see you in a minute.